Hello, welcome to my video. It's your host, Sotu19, or Ultimate Gamer 19,000. I'm here today to present to you all Season 2, Episode 11 of Random Multiclass Thursdays, The Shanking or Ranging, and Summon Fae. Before this video begins, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, let's get right into today's video. So today's build is called The Shanking or Ranging, or The Ranger. So this build, I kind of wanted to go into a topic I kind of sort of touched last week. Make sure to check out that video. And it was to see, is range damage really that bad? Or how much worse is range damage compared to two-weapon fighting or just general melee? Now this video will be mainly covering two-weapon fighting, and I also have done many two-handed Great Weapon Master builds. Also, make sure to also check those out. I think I'm gonna link up my Ultimate Beginner Guide video, because that was a two-handed maul smacking video. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to cover that. And also, I wanted to test out the Ranger to see, are they really as bad as people say they are, or are people just building Rangers incorrectly? So yeah, let's go. Now for our weapon use, we'll be using a scimitar, short sword, and a longbow. Yeah, the whole point of this video is to test out these weapons. So of course the longbow has the slow mastery, the scimitar of course having the nick, and the short sword having the vex property. So yeah, those are the three properties we will be using. Now, for our species, we'll be going Aasimar, because I kind of like Aasimars, and also, I'm just realizing now, I forgot to include the Aasimar extra damage to the calculations. This is like the 19th time this happened. I'm sorry. So yeah, when you go to damage, just make sure to bump them up by that level's proficiency bonus. I just can't. I don't know. That's like one of the only things I don't even forget. I never forget Hex or anything like that. But when it comes to Asmar, I always forget the extra damage they get. And now for origin feat slash origin, I recommend going Wayfair if you can't do custom. But if you can't do custom, dexterity, wisdom, and charisma, your ability scores you increase, and alert as your feat. You could go lucky, but honestly, I think alert might be better for overall this build. And also, we do take some levels of a class later on that alert does benefit from. Now for stats, we'll be going 8 strength, a 17 dexterity with a +2. You know what I mean. Whatever. I don't have to explain myself. A 14 constitution, a 10 intelligence, a 15 wisdom with a +1 equaling 16. Same thing for the other dexterity. And charisma of 8. And the reason why I chose these stats are honestly because it's probably the best. I mean, we're able to get a good charisma, no, a good wisdom, constitution, and dexterity. I chose to flatten out intelligence. Honestly, you could probably choose to flatten out charisma. It probably will be better if you want really good charisma checks, which this build actually does do decent charisma checks, so, and kind of pick your favorite. Now for level 1, we get a bunch of cool features. We get spellcasting, favorite enemy, and weapon masteries. Now we all know weapon masteries, I don't have to go over that, but for favorite enemy, as a ranger, we always have the Timu Hex spell prepared, and we can cast it twice without expending a spell slot, and you regain all expended uses of this ability when you finish a long rest. Basically, you can cast Timu Hex, proficiency bonus times per long rest, but instead of it scaling with your proficiency bonus, it scales with your ranger levels, which is, no, it's a weird way to explain it, but basically, if you were a 9th level ranger, your proficiency bonus would be 4. So you could get 4 uses of Hunter's Mark. But it only scales if you take ranger levels, not if your proficiency bonus. I mean, overall, it's super annoying and kind of annoying that they did that. I think it's kind of dumb. It honestly, they could have just made this feature proficiency times per day. You get back Timu Hex. I know the fact they don't want to give out Timu Hex for free, like, oh, any class can just take a 1 level dip and boom, a bunch of free uses of Timu Hex. But if we're being honest here, Timu Hex is really bad. It's so bad I'm not even saying its name because of how garbage it is. But yeah, it's bad. So yeah, I really don't see the point of this. They could have just made it proficiency bonus times per long rest. Would have made it much easier. But I guess they choose it. For level 1 spells, honestly, pick anything. 2024 Rangers have a spell list, I'll tell you that much. Your spell list is pretty damn bad, if I'm being honest. Similar to the Bard's low-level spells. At higher level, they do gain better spells, but by higher levels, we won't even be reaching those spells, because I feel like the best Ranger is a multi-classed Ranger. Now for level 2, we do get Deft Explorer and Fighting Style Feat of our choice. Now for going the 2-weapon fighting build, take 2-weapon fighting. For going the archery build, take archery. But with Deft Explorer, we get some pretty cool stuff. We can choose one of our skill proficiencies, which we lack expertise in, and we gain expertise in that skill. And we learn 2 additional languages of our choice. Yeah, this is honestly pretty damn good. Yeah, overall, 2 nice features. Again, Depth Explorer at level 2, that means, because back in old D&D, level 2 used to be a level where every class got something really massive, really character defining. Now, not so much, which I mean, I'm mostly fine with it being level 1 where we get better stuff now. But I feel like honestly, they could have gone a little harder with the level 2 Ranger feature. I don't know, that's just kind of me though. Now with the Ranger subclass, we will be picking up Fey Wanderer. It is without a doubt the strongest Ranger subclass, better than Gloomstalker, specifically because of the 11th level feature. It is just so good that it really just makes the build significantly better. Dreadful Strikes, of course, allows it to add a D4 psychic damage once per turn when we attack a creature. No, it's actually once per creature. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's once per creature, which is an interesting restriction. And also we have Otherworldly Glamour. Whenever we make a charisma check, you gain a bonus stat check equal to your wisdom modifier, and you gain proficiency in one of the skills of your choice: deception, performance, or persuasion. I mean, you're a ranger. I mean, later on in this build, we are taking some levels of assassin rogue, so I think deception might fit more, but honestly, it's kind of pick your favorite. Make sure to drink water. And here comes our first big difference in this build. Now, if you're doing a longbow ranger, I would most likely recommend picking up something like Great Weapon Master. I know it doesn't increase your dexterity, which is a small issue, but with the archery fighting style, it really doesn't matter. And that's honestly something I noticed that was very interesting, that now, if you take Great Weapon Master, it really doesn't matter that you don't get that +1 dexterity because you have the archery fighting style. Now, if you're doing anything else dexterity based, then it sucks, but I guess it's not that bad at the end of the day. Now, the 2-weapon fighting version picks up the dual wielder feat, which can increase their dexterity and gives them some pretty nice damage. Well, and also allows them to bonus action extra attack. I know the enhanced dual wielding thing is super weird. Honestly, if I was you, I most likely would just play it how everyone rules it, and if your DM calls you out on it, explain it to him that the real version is just really weird, and if your DM doesn't allow it, then whatever. But I'm pretty sure no DMs I've ever spoken to have any issues with this, but I know there's a lot of confusion coming around with this feat, because it is decently weirdly worded. But yeah, basically just know as a bonus action, you can make an attack with a offhand weapon that lacks two-handed property. That's it. Now, level 5, we get extra attack, allowing us to attack twice instead of once when we take the attack action on our turn. We also get level 2 spells. Now, here we actually get some pretty nice spells. We get Summon Beast, Passive Auto Trace, Magic Weapon, Enhanced Ability, Coordinate of Arrows, and Misty Step from being a Fey Wanderer Ranger. Overall, actually pretty damn solid. Now, for a level 5 damage report with 2-weapon fighting, on turn 1 we will be casting Timu Hex and attacking, dealing an average of 35.5 points of damage, and on turn 4 doing an all-out attack, dealing an average of 46.5 damage. A ton of damage here, and you're not even wasting a spell slot most of the times. Pretty damn impressive for the Rangers. Now your average to hit is 17.5. Now I look back at some of my older builds, and this is some of the higher damage you do see on the spectrum. Now, of course, with Timu Hex, it can be recast. It can be recasted. So, honestly, I think it'd probably be, if you're not fighting a big boss, then maybe the turn 1 damage is what you're going to be seeing most often, which, I mean, even for tier 1 or well, I guess it's technically early tier 2, there's still very good damage, and overall, pretty damn nice. Now, here we have to the bow. Now, if you do a Timu Hex and a bow shot, you average 24.5 points of damage, with an average to hit of 18.5. Now, if we look at the two, we can clearly tell that 2-weapon fighting is blowing the bow and arrow out of the water. It's not even comparable. Yes, the bow and arrow has a 1+ higher to hit, but the damage is so much greater that even if you're being the most annoying when it comes to calculating damage, taking the exact 0.00.5%, Yeah, it's just two weapon fighting blows it out of the water very, very much. Now, level 6, we get roving. Your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor. You also have a climb speed and swim speed equal to your speed, which is actually pretty nice. And since we're an Asimar, we also have a fly speed equal to 40 feet, which is pretty damn cool if you ask me. Now, level 7, we get Belingling Twist. Now, this is a subclass feature and a, kind of bad one if I'm being honest. Basically, we have advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the charmed or frightened condition, and also anytime we fail to charm a creature, we can use a reaction and force another creature within 120 feet of us to make a saving throw or be charmed or frightened by us. Oh wait, hold on. It's actually a little better. Okay, I didn't misread it. Forgive me. Basically, when you or a creature you can see within 120 feet of you succeeds on a saving throw. Also, you could use this for your allies. Okay, actually, wait. This actually features significantly better. I mean, again, it's still charmed or frightened. I mean, for fighting a dragon, and holy, you're cooking with gas. I mean, yeah, this feature's actually not that bad then. It's alright. Yeah, now at level 8 again is another ASI, so here things are going to get a little different. With 2 weapon fighting, we'll gain a +2 to dexterity, but with the bow, we will be taking sharpshooter here to increase our dexterity, finally make it to 18. And also, I mean, sharpshooter is just nice to have. Yeah, it's really bad. And now, it's not really bad, I guess. It's just, I mean, firing in melee, bypass cover, and long shots. I mean, hey, 600 feet with a bow and arrow is pretty nice if you ask me. And also being able to fire within 5 feet of someone is just a headache that doesn't have to be there. And also your range attacks now ignore 3 half cover and 3 1/4 cover. And I mean, when you're 600 feet away from someone, it's probably nice to also have that. Now, at level 9, we gain expertise. We choose 2 skills we're proficient in, and we gain expertise in them. Now, 3rd level spells, we'll be picking up Revivify, Summon Fae, Water Walk, Conjure Animals, and Lightning Arrow. A bunch of really powerful spells that we will be using almost all the times. And here's kind of the big issue with Rangers. Their level 1 and 2 spells are pretty damn bad pre-2014, or at least not using Tasha's or Xanathar's. But when it comes to those 3rd level spells, they get significantly better. But since you have so few 3rd level spell slots, it's kind of like at 9th level, which, I mean, I think this is a topic I should probably talk about near the end of the video. But here, I'll speak on it briefly. I mean, we're at 9 levels of Ranger. And looking at the Ranger's track, we're not really getting much that's really that good anymore. I mean, in a couple levels, we do get a very key feature, but in reality, after you get your 9th level spells, depending on your subclass, I mean, after you get your 3rd level spells, depending on your subclass, you might want to leave Ranger at 3rd level to go to Cleric or to Druid or something that will actually grant you some value, which Ranger seems to be heavily lacking in. Now at level 10 we get tiredness basically as a magic action. We can give ourselves a number of temporary hit points equal to a D8 plus our wisdom modifier. Hey, it's wisdom modifier times per day. It's literally a monk feature, but significantly worse, and the monk feature is significantly better and way less limited. And also when we finish a short rest, any exhaustion levels we have decreases by 1. Yeah, okay. Level 10 damage report. Oh, those features were so bad. 2 weapon fighting, of course. We're still using Teemo Hex and attacking, dealing an average of 38.5 damage. And on turn 2, all out attack, dealing 50.5 with an average of 19.5 to hit. Not much of an increase. I think by 6 points of an increase. What are my thoughts? It sucks now we got 5 whole levels and our damage still hasn't seemingly increased. That's very worrying. With an average hit of 19.5, we'll now get into our bow. Dealing on turn 1, we actually use Summon Fae for turn 1 because Teemo Hex is actually 1 point of damage better when we're making 4 attacks than Summon Fae. Only 1 though, which is pretty damn impressive. So yeah, turn 1 we'll be casting Summon Fae with the bow version, then doing our 2 bow shots, doing an average of 32.5 damage with an average of 20.5 to hit. Now you did see that the bow damage did go up a significant amount, but that's because of Summon Fae. If you remove Summon Fae, the bow damage went up by like 2 points, and that's because we increased our dexterity. and our proficiency bonus went up. That's the only reason it increased. Because of a feat. No, because of 2 feats we took. Our damage increased. Not because of any class features. On a martial class. No, it's simply because we took 2 feats. I mean, yeah, Summon Fate did help. But if we are using Timu Hex, our damage would have gone down by like 3 points. But even at then, it's still... Okay, so around 9 levels of scaling with solely being a ranger only gave us a 3 damage increase using a bow and arrow. Yeah, that is very worrying. That is very bad. Now, level 11, we get Fey Reinforcement, a Fey Wanderer Ranger feature, and the only reason why we're taking this subclass, basically, we can now cast Summon Fate without a material component, and we can also cast it without a spell slot. That's only once per long rest, but we legit don't care for any of that. But when we do cast a spell, we can modify it that it doesn't require concentration, and if we do so, the spell's duration only is 1 minute. Holy hell, is this so nice, especially when at level 12 we start taking levels of Druid. The whole reason why we're taking levels of Druid here is so that we get heightened spell casting, because if we're being honest, we could take those the other 9 levels of Ranger and be significantly weaker here. At these higher levels, we'll see our damage significantly increases because we stop taking Ranger levels and start taking Druid levels to basically make our Summon Fey stronger. So yeah, this is basically just a Summon Fey merchant. This is similar to my wizard spell, my wizard build I did. Check the cards, but just significantly worse because we have to multi-class a ton. When in that build, it was 0 multi-classing, and we were still really powerful. Again, thoughts for the end of the video, but still very disappointing. We get Druidic, basically. It's a secret language of the Druids, and also we always have Speak with Animals prepared, and we can use Druidic to leave a hidden message. Yeah, whatever, no one really cares for that. We do get Primal Order, which is actually a really cool feature. With Primal Order, we can take Magician, gaining us an extra Druid cantrip, and in addition, any of our Arcana or Nature checks gain a bonus to our Wisdom modifier, which is pretty damn nice. There's also Warden, but that's redundant because we already have all that stuff. Just skip that. For Druid spells and cantrips, honestly, pick your favorite. None of them are going to be increasing damage in any way that's significant or any way that I thought would be significant. If you know some secret little tech with a spell that greatly increases your damage that isn't concentration, then feel free to write it down in the comments. I mean, we could have gone a whole like Shillelagh build. That I could have seen. But our wisdom modifier is significantly lower than our dexterity. Then there definitely is a world where we would make a build like that, but I just chose not to. And yeah. At level 2, we get Wild Shape and Wild Companion. If I'm being honest here, we're never going to use... we're never going to use Wild Shape. Wild Companion we may use. Basically, as an action, we can expend a spell slot, or use Wild Shape to cast Find Familiar, and our Familiar is forced to be a Fey, and it disappears when we take a long rest. Okay, it's an alright feature. Now, for our 3rd level of Druid, pick your favorite Druid subclass. If I'm being honest here, none of them give us a significant damage increase to really force you to choose. So honestly, pick your favorite. You want to go Land Druid? Sure. You want to go Ocean Druid? Sure. You want to go Moon Druid? Don't, but you can. You want to go, what's it called? Stars Druid. Want to go Wildfire? Sure. Pick whatever you want. None of it's really going to increase your damage in any significant way. I guess with the Bow Druid, you could go Wildfire to get your little, Wildfire Familiar, then use your bonus action every turn to command it. But since we're moving around Timu Hex, it's... you could do that, but again, I still want to keep it with the mainly 2024 subclasses. And on all of them, none of them really increase your damage in any meaningful way. Maybe the Archer Constellation with the Druid, but that would only be on one build. And also it's only like a D8 plus or Wisdom modifier, and it's a roll to hit. And also, we are using Timu Hex every turn, and honestly, moving around Timu Hex might be a little bit annoying or dangerous. So honestly, I really didn't make myself do it. So yeah, maybe if you want to make the bow damage a little bit higher, I'm rambling at this point. Level 2 spells, pick your favorite again, none of them increase our damage in any meaningful ways. Level 15, we reach our 4th level Druid, getting us the spell slots we want, and an extra feat. Now, if you're taking 2-weapon fighting, put a +2 into your wisdom. If you're taking a bow, put a +2 into dexterity. And yeah, now time for a level 15 damage report with 2-weapon fighting. As you can see, our damage has gone up a significant amount. Now, turn 1, we're going to be casting Summon Faith for 4th level spell slot and using our Timu Hex feature. Now, some of you might say, you can't use Timu Hex. It uses a spell slot. You can't cast 2 spell slotted spells per turn. Good catch, but with our, thanks to our 1 level of Ranger, we can cast, I think we can cast it 4 times a day completely for free without using a spell slot. So here we are doing that. And on turn 2, with an all-out attack with 2-weapon fighting, we deal an average of 80.5 damage, which sounds really impressive and very powerful until you realize all of that damage spike, well, not all of it, let me be honest, not all of it, but a significant amount of it is from a class that's not Ranger, or a ridiculously high Ranger level feature. What does this mean basically? Yeah, Summon Fate Concentration Free is a Ranger feature, but it's an 11th level Ranger feature. Levels 2 through 9, levels 2 through 10, except for level 5 because we get extra attack, we don't really get anything crazy here. So if we look at it here, legit, almost everything here doesn't really use Ranger at all. Summon Fae barely uses Ranger, but we're not even casting it for Ranger spell slot. We're casting it for spell slot we only got thanks to Druid levels. If we even wanted to use a Ranger spell slot for Summon Fae, we'd have to take significantly a bunch of Ranger levels, which we could have done that, but taking Ranger levels also gets us less spell slots, and also really doesn't get us much either way. And with the Druid, yes, none of those spells can really give you utility, can give you damage per se, but you're still a Druid, you still have a ton of utility. I mean, you can get stuff like Healing Word, you get Cure Wounds as a Ranger, but you can also get just a bunch of really cool stuff. So either ways, I didn't really see necessary to take more levels of Ranger. And also, I mean, we now have a 5th level spell slot with Summon Fae, so if you really wanted to, you could just use Summon Fae with a 5th level spell slot. Also, Summon Fae is not only a minute, so if you would have kept him with Ranger, we can only Summon Fae like twice in a whole what's it called? In a whole day of fighting. Only like 2 uses of Summon Fae until we reach 17th level when we get our 4th. Like, let's be real here. You just gain so little from taking those higher level Ranger features. But I am rambling a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm really interested in this conversation because while Rangers are truly that bad, and now again, as a similar thing to our 2-weapon fighting, our bow, you see at turn 1, we get 28 damage with Summon Fae and Timu Hex, and on turn 2, with an all-out attack, we do 66.5 damage with an average hit of 22.5 with the bow, and an average hit of 20 flat with 2-weapon fighting. As we can see here, the bow is still doing significantly worse, and the damage increase I see is pretty good, but that's only because of Summon Fae, and I already said all that. Again, pretty damn disappointing. Now, level 16, we're taking a level of Rogue. And really, the only reason why we're taking level Rogue here is because of Sneak Attack. Basically, when we make an attack with a finesse or ranged weapon, we can do some extra damage. If we have advantage, or if our allies within 5 feet of one of our targets, whatever. We also get Thieves' Cant expertise, but those features, we don't care for them. Having extra expertise is nice, but in reality, I really couldn't care that much. Now, at level 2, we get Cunning Action, allowing us to dash, disengage, and hide as a bonus action, which is pretty damn nice. I won't lie to you, but again, we don't really care for any of that. Now, level 3, as a bonus action with Steady Aim, we can give ourselves advantage on our next attack roll. Again, we really don't care for that. And now, with our Rogue subclass, we gain Assassin. Now, Assassin actually does something really weird, which, with Summon Fae, we normally use our first round of combat to set up Summon Fae and Hex. Timu Hex, sorry, not the Hex spell, Timu Hex spell, of course. So yeah, with Assassinate, that actually doesn't work. So when it comes to damage report, we're not even using the Assassin subclass in reality. I just kind of chose Assassin because, okay, the way you would use Assassin is turn 1, you would attack, turn 2, you do your spell casting, then turn 3, boom, you go forward. In reality, your rogue subclass doesn't really matter. You could go arcane trickster if you want. You could go thief if you want. I just assassin can give you advantage on the first round, which is can be situation nice. Advantage on initiative rules, and if some combats you can precast summon Fae, then holy you're gonna be doing damage with assassinate. Ungodly amounts of damage. Now here is kind of where we at our crossroads here. Now level 19 on both builds, we'll be taking that 4th level of Rogue, and with the 2-weapon fighting version of this build, we'll be getting any epic boon of our choice and increasing our dexterity. Now, with the bow version of this build, we'll be increasing our wisdom to a +2. Now, level 20 is when things get interesting here. In my personal opinion, I think, oh my gosh, in my personal opinion, something fell from my hand. In my personal opinion, I believe with 2-weapon fighting is probably, well, and today's build, of course, it's better to take that 12th level of Ranger to pick up an additional epic boon of your choice and increase your dexterity. To get a 22 dexterity, that's probably your best choice. But for the bow, I think it's honestly best to just take an extra level of Rogue here and pick up that sneak attack scaling. You also get uncanny dodge and cunning strikes, two really nice features, and also your assassinate feature does become a lot stronger. Now, the reason I believe this is honestly, Summon Fae is potentially better than a 22. Because the thing is, with the bow version, our scaling is significantly decreased. Because at 4th level, we didn't take we didn't take a feat that increased our dexterity. So our scaling has been significantly lowered. So I personally believe that, I mean, yeah, you definitely could go 20 dexterity on both, but a 22 dexterity on both. But when you look at it, I think a higher to hit ratio plus more damage from Summon Fae will genuinely provide us with more value than a 22 dexterity. If your wisdom is not already maxed out, then by all means, just increase your dexterity. And also, with 2-weapon fighting, we're doing so many attacks that even a +1 to our dexterity is still technically a +4 damage, which is significantly greater but significantly lessened when on a bow. We're only doing 2 attacks, meaning that's only a +2 to damage when Summon Fae, when you're accounting for, the extra to hit ratio and the fact it also gets a +2 damage, and since its plus the hit ratio is lower than yours, increasing it so that it's equal to yours will be significantly better. And also with the bow, we have the archery fighting style, so our to hit is even higher. Yeah. Overall, that's my idea of why I did it. Overall, I just think it's pretty interesting. Also, that 5th level of Rogue Uncanny Dodge can be pretty nice. And also, Cunning Strikes can be situationally useful. Now, for 2-weapon fighting, we see our damage is not able to surpass 100. Which grinds my gears. Now, turn 1, we'll be casting Summon Fae for 4th level slot and casting Timu Hex, dealing an average of 30 damage. And on turn 2, with 2-weapon fighting, all out attack, dealing an average of 92.5 damage, with an average of 22.5 to hit. Save my thoughts for the end of it. Level 20 damage report with a bow, Summon Fae 4th level, Timu Hex, average of 30, all out attack, dealing an average of 71.5 damage, with an average to hit of 21.5. That's it for today's build. Gosh, I hate those numbers. If you don't want to hear any of my rambling and just want today's build and damage numbers, there you go. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Genuinely, subscribing to me and liking my videos helps me more than you can imagine. You don't have to comment, but if you do want to comment, just slam your hand on your keyboard and write whatever appears. I'll heart it, I'll favor it, whatever. But genuinely, please subscribe. Helps me so much, and like my videos. And yeah. And also, I believe if you've gotten this far into my video, you probably enjoyed something, or at least enjoyed my build philosophy, or my builds, or just thought my video was nice, or you liked my background noise. So please, just check if you're subscribed. It takes like 5 seconds. Please do it. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Now it's time to get into my real opinions. Holy Rangers are terrible. These are pretty bad. Ew, wow, this is just pure refined butt cheeks, if I'm being fully honest. 92.5 damage at level 20. 71.5 peak damage at level 20 is the most pathetic thing I have ever seen in my life. I genuinely don't think I've ever had a build with such low damage before. Maybe the rogue build, and that's a rogue that was really bad but had the connotations of the utility of the rogue being second to none. The ranger has a utility that is second to many. Holy, this ranger sucks so bad. And before someone says something stupid, so you should have gone straight class with the ranger. Your hunter's mark would have gone better. You're that's just blatantly incorrect. Hunter's mark scaling is some of the worst scaling I've ever seen because it's non-existent. Those bullcrap features that they give you are fully terrible. In the playtest, Hunter Mark scaled if you use the higher level spell slot. They simply should have just done that, or should have made it a class feature. An extra D10 compared to a D6 at level 20. Are you kidding me? An extra +2 damage on a bow. Okay, let's say we did go a level 20 rogue. First of all, take out 3d6 damage from our level 20 damage report with the bow, and 2d6 from the 2-weapon fighting. And let's add in the extra 2 damage on average that we would have gotten. For 2-weapon fighting, that's 8. So I feel like that maybe cancels out, we'll say. But for the bow, that is just significantly worse. So this is basically Wizard telling you, suck our balls, multi-class with rogue. Because the level 20 version, oh yeah, you get permanent advantage when your hunters mark a creature. So what? There's millions of ways to get extra damage. You're a level 20 character. You got an oath bow. Boom. You got advantage every attack. There's just no excuse for why Ranger is so bad. This is genuinely terrible. Rangers should be better. Rangers deserve better. And if you're a Ranger player, I am genuinely so sorry because you do not deserve this. 71.5 damage at level 20 is pathetic. That is some of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Like, are we kidding me here? Like, this is so terrible. Like, genuinely, this is really bad. 71.5 damage? At level 20? Dog, what, like... This is just real, like, and this is an optimized build. This thing multi-classes to hell. This thing has 3 multi-classes. You're telling me a heavily multi-classed, optimized build is only doing 71.5 points of damage? And that's with me being... And this is with me assuming that every saving throw is filled. Every attack is landed and taking average damage. Yeah, this is bad, man. This is just bad. I mean, maybe... I know maybe there are some builds, maybe builds that use your bonus action heavier. Like, maybe if you're summon Beast, maybe if you take Beastmaster with a bow. But still, I watched Kobe's video, and his damage numbers were still really low. Or just not really that good. And also, this is using a 4th level Summon Fae. Summon Fae is extremely powerful, genuinely. I mean, we can just go back, like, let's just check out some of the damage reports. Let's check our level 10 damage report. 35 damage with the bow. Level 10 damage report. 66 at level 15 damage report. And all of that is thanks to Summon Fate. Literally nothing else changed. What changed? A +2 to dexterity from the bow. Anything else changed? Through those levels? Literally, nothing else changed. Except for using Summon Fate. Like, what do you mean? The highest increase for your damage as a class is simply you casting a spell with a spell slot you got from multiclassing. Because if you'd have stayed single class, this would be a burst / nova damage build. Because this simply just wouldn't be able to keep up with anything else. I don't know what to even say, man. Wizards, you just failed so terribly. Like, the monk, like, and the thing is, because the monk exists, and if we're being honest here, last week's damage was significantly higher than this, and this was a monk with, again, well, I mean, the monk doesn't need multiclassing, so let me not be disingenuous and say, oh, a monk with 0 multiclassing. The monk doesn't need multiclassing. That's it. That's disingenuous. Let me not go there. But still, a optimized monk still did significantly more damage. And that monk wasn't even 2-weapon fighting. That monk wasn't even 2-weapon fighting. That's not even like a properly optimized monk. That was like, I mean, no, Kensai monk, we're going crazy. Oh, I need to do a Kensai monk 2-weapon fighting. That build's gonna be disgusting. Oh my, that build's already terrorizing ADM's dream. I expect that build soon. Making, that's gonna cook everyone. I mean, still, this is extremely pathetic levels of damage. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else I can say that I haven't already said. Again, if you stayed through all this rambling, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Look out next week on Thursday or maybe Friday. I'm sorry, I've just been really busy with school. I'm sorry the videos are coming out a little later. Been swamped with school. Get off my back. I know it's on my back. Whatever. But yeah, if you're excited, next week, make sure to check out on Thursday. I hope at least sometime maybe a 2-weapon fighting Kensai monk or a psionic based wizard Psy warrior fighter. One of those two builds will be coming up next week. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, please. And oh yeah, OT19 signing out. Peace, peace.